when people come to me personally, I want to know why they think they need that.
Yeah.
Then we can start delving into it. Because often they don't actually need what they think they need.
Yeah.
They need something
Yeah.
else.
I
And
found that as well.
but obviously there's different types of agencies, and some agencies are productized, and that's fine because they're totally upfront about it. We will do X amount for X amount, and that's what you get. I'm not against that. That's to do with supply and demand. As long as there's demand out there, there'll be a supplier for it. But for me, I think to really help the businesses, you need to understand the why, not just, take it for granted. Well, I want this. Well, why do you want it? You're going to laugh at me because I've read a study online, and that's what it says the top ranking sites do. So this brings me on to studies online.
Okay.
Right? I know we've spoken briefly about this in the past, but what's your personal opinion on industry studies?
Personally, I love them. I find them extremely interesting. And for me, they are kind of like, those hooks that you read in the publications that like, oh, read this, what we found. Um, so initially, I find it interesting. I feel that in our space, data can shed a lot of light into things, right? And it is a fine balance between, opinion and experience and data, but we do need the data. So then I move on to understand like the methodology, because that is very important, right? If the methodology is not right, or, if it's oversold as, I did a study on this, I have the answer on what is the most important thing for Google, and then it's just anecdotal stuff or anything. It may still have some value, but I sort of have that idea of I want to understand the methodology and the scale, and then the way I use them. And I know we first spoke about it together for, thanks to the ranking factor study we did at SEMrush, which is a controversial topic, not the study itself, but the topic itself. And for me, the idea behind it was, okay, let's see about the methodology. Let's see about the volume of data we can process. And then let's be very kind of like, I don't want to say hand-holding, but understanding that the audience that might read it is not necessarily Mark or Erika. It can be a business owner. It can be an intern who, just starts to learn about things. And I didn't want it to become okay, this study said that this and this factor is the most important, so this is what we should focus on now. And instead be more about, okay, here's the data, here's what we found, it's correlation, but it can be a good starting point for you, depending on where you work and what you do, to test some hypotheses. And you may find that the findings of this study have nothing to do with what you find in your own work, and this is absolutely fine. Or it may be just the beginning for you and your team to try something out or to pay more attention to something. So I think studies help us hypothesize a bit more, and they also help us get more ideas on where things may be going. Like I find studies interesting if they reveal, for example, a trend. I was looking at one very recently from Glenn Alsop, for example, for Reddit, right? This has been a conversation for a long time now about Google SERPs and Reddit and whatever. But on the other hand, someone getting their hands on tons of data and sort of giving a clearer picture of, okay, how important is it? Because someone may be searching for things and never coming across, well, not never nowadays, but very rarely coming across Reddit. So it is a matter of opinions again. So they do help make a picture a bit clearer in terms of what is happening. And that's as far as I would go. I would never suggest that any study, like maybe medical studies could, but like in our industry, I would never suggest that, read a study depending on what they find, just go and change or adjust your whole strategy to follow the findings of that study.